So before I go out and waste 18 months of my life trying to raise money, what are the kind of 2 or 3 things that you should say, the boxes that I should have ticked before I start the journey? Is it, I don't know, is it our product, is it customers, is it, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I actually think that if you ticked all the boxes, it might not take 18 months.
Okay.
The single most significant factor is going to be you. You know, are you in the right place? Are you aligned with your with the people that might invest in you?
Yeah.
And with the best will in the world, unless you are a serial entrepreneur, you won't yet be aligned, because you will have you'll be a bit of a TechCrunch groupie, and you know you want it to work the way it worked in the social network.
Mike Butcher has groupies? Sorry.
Definitely, I'm one of them.
Okay.
So,
not sure if he's going to be happy with
No,
that.
I think he has the groupies in the background on his Twitter avatar.
Okay.
No, what I think is that, you know, so you might read with relish the funding deals in TechCrunch, etc., and you think that's what it's about, and you might, for all kinds of reasons, you are probably not yet the fundable entrepreneur, and I would say that we became fundable just because I mean, if you didn't have the support that we had that carried us over the 18-month fundraise, you would probably never actually evolve into the fundable article. So it's really important to kind of listen to criticism, and you know, to an extent, you're going to have to handle just what I would call vanilla rejection. It's just not the right time, it's not the right person, etc. But you're also going to be dealing with well-founded rejection, and actually learn from that, because that, you know, that when if someone actually gives you feedback, and you can see that they're actually quite astute people, don't recoil, actually reform off the back of that. So I think the biggest single thing you can do is make yourself fundable, and tragically some people will never become fundable, or it'll be very, very hard to become fundable, and some people will never become spectacularly fundable. So I think, you know, if you're charismatic and you're young and you're ballsy and you're also very technical, etc., you know, you might be super fundable, but you've got to understand that there's a whole spectrum of fundability, and you've got to find your place on it.
So you said young, that rules me out. I think I'm going to go back to a day job.
I think, can I just say, one of my inspirations is a guy who was an accountant at, I think, took early retirement to be able to build his business, and now has his local authority accountant, and he now lives a fantastic lifestyle running his own business.
Wow.
And one thing I know is that it's doable at any point in life. So.
Well, there we go. He said that just to make me happy, I'm sure. So I just want to wrap it up on again. What I'm interested in is, you know, we've gone through, you know, some advice where entrepreneurs should be, what boxes they should tick to make themselves fundable. It's actually 2 questions I wanted to end on. We keep hearing this thing that London's a useless place to do startups. Yes or no?
I would say yes.
Yes, it's a useless place to do startups.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's a very hard place.
I was hoping you raised money, and I hope you would say.
I mean, that probably sounds unfair, but it depends what you mean by startup as well. So I think most people think about startups in terms of fast scaling, consumer orientated, tech powered
$1 billion
startups.
ones. We're interested in this. Yeah.
And I think that the issue you've got is that there is, I mean, people are saying it all the time, but we now have a few people that are going around the block a second time and doing really actually following the kind of the playbook of the kind of Silicon Valley startup. But you've got a weird situation where you don't have enough. There isn't a self-sustaining ecosystem around that kind of exit and new start and pursuit of new concepts. There are loads of geographic reasons why it's hard to do it in London. I think it's the fact that high net worth individuals here are predominantly concerned with finance and therefore take huge risks and rely on liquidity to escape them all the time. And so when like happened in 2008, the liquidity dries up, that it's actually had an impact on their mentality. So go to them with, so what they want is they want an incredibly fungible place to put their money, or they want a something like bricks and mortar, and basically startups fall between two stools in that respect. Obviously in the Valley, in the Middle East, in the Far East, there's a lot more kind of surplus money that's being created in manners other than just arbitrage, etc., etc. So I think that's one factor, and I think the other factor is just that we do have a smaller market. So people like Michael Agnès have proved that if you find the right product, it'll scale straight out of your market, and people like Halo are obviously going to 4 cities at a time in terms of their expansion. So it is doable outside of the UK, but the reality is that if you are a startup, the odds on you scaling rather than being acquired are pretty small, and I don't think you can resent angels for being aware of that reality. So all of those factors make London and also the cost of living here. So I would say, if you asked me would I do it in London again, I'd say yes, but I would do it with a real awareness of the constraints.
Okay. So. And just to wrap up, what's the one if you had to give one piece of advice to startups, very simple, what's the one thing that they need to look at when it comes to funding or be aware of?
I think if you haven't got track record, go and make yourself some track record.
Okay. On that note, I'm just going to wrap up the discussion with Johnathan. Thank you, Johnathan. It seems like London needs a pair of Samwell brothers, so if anybody's out there, get in touch, because we need a little bit of help, because we would like to build the next Facebook. Thanks, Johnathan.
You're welcome.
Thank you.